This is Jeff Corhan with jeffcorhan.com. Welcome. It is my pleasure to have with us today Michael Stelzner, who is the founder of Social Media Examiner and also the author of Launch, a new bestseller book that we're probably going to talk about today. I'm going to let Mike introduce himself, give you some background about Social Media Examiner himself, and we'll get into it from there.
Jeff, thanks for having me. Social Media Examiner is what I call an online magazine designed to help businesses figure out how to use this crazy thing we call social media. Our subtitle is called Your Guide to the Social Media Jungle. And you write for us and amongst many other people, and we just try to publish great free content, and that's really what we're all about.
Tell us about how you came to write the book and how you think that this is relevant to mainstream small businesses, which are really the audience of this particular blog.
Well, it's a great question. The book is called Launch. The subtitle is called How to Quickly Propel Your Business Beyond the Competition. It's not just for businesses that are trying to figure out how to get started. The word launch, in my mind, can mean a lot of things. For example, if you're launching a new product or you're launching a new service or you need boost or liftoff. The reason I wrote the book, Jeff, is because prior to Social Media Examiner, I was coined the grandfather of white papers by Marketing Sherpa. And I had written a book called Writing White Papers. And through my experience, I had kind of been called by my peers many different positive names. And I had kind of developed an entire niche and industry around white paper creation and marketing. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I can apply my very same techniques to the world of social media. And I tried with Social Media Examiner to great success. And then I decided, okay, well, I'd like to document what I've done and how other businesses can do it in a book. So I really designed the book to help small businesses in particular figure out how to stand out in a day and an age where it's very difficult to get the attention of prospects and consumers for a couple of reasons. Number one, nobody trusts you. That's the big challenge. Businesses are not trusted by their customers. As a matter of fact, Edelman Trust Barometer came out. Only 1 in 3 people trust businesses. On top of that, we're all inundated with marketing noise, as I call it. And you know, there's nowhere you can't go where you're not going to see a marketing message. So that makes it really hard for the small business owner who doesn't have the big budget to stand out when no one trusts you and no one's paying attention. So I wrote the book to kind of help small businesses see how they could accomplish that with a low budget and do it rapidly.
Sure. Now, what I found interesting is that being entrepreneurs and small businesses, we all tend to want to control things and do everything ourselves. And obviously, we're stretched thin. We're wearing so many hats. Tell us how you made this work, because you took an interesting approach in how you partnered with other experts and made this come together.
Well, in my prior business, when I was the white paper guy, it was all about Mike Stelzner and everything Mike Stelzner was doing. And when I looked at the social media world, I noticed that there was all about certain individuals that were kind of the high-profile kings of that world. One thing I learned in my days of white paper is I cannot scale. And what I mean by that is there's a limit to my creativity, there's a limit to my time. And I also learned when I was doing that if I can figure out a way to share the spotlight with other people in an industry, whether they be peers or whether they be experts that are practitioners inside of companies, if I could do that, I could accomplish a lot more. So when I launched Social Media Examiner, I teamed up with some really brilliant people like Mari Smith, who wrote a book on Facebook marketing, Chris Garrett, who wrote ProBlogger, who co-authored that book, Denise Wakeman from the Blog Squad, and then Jason Falls from Social Media Explorer. These guys were all knee-deep in the world of social media where I was a rookie. And I knew that if I could tap their mind and have them maybe produce regular content for our site, others would come, like yourself. And before you knew it, we had many, many writers. Now we have more than 60 writers who write regularly for Social Media Examiner. I produce maybe 1 article a week, generally in the form of a video. And I generally go to trade shows and interview experts, multiple experts in a period of day, and then I've got that content that I can release over time so that I can focus on kind of being the cruise director or the ship navigator, if you will, instead of the content creator.
Right, right. I actually shared that idea with a client today. They have a pretty decent-sized small business, but they work with lots of different, call them vendors or partners, and we were brainstorming with the idea that how can we shed the spotlight on all of them, which will help them to create or participate in the creation of that content, and really, it becomes mutually beneficial. So I think it's just a phenomenal idea that I think just about any small business, if they really put their minds to it, can, make that work for them.
Jeff, let me just give you a quick little story. A friend of mine is a local realtor in Southern California, and like realtors all over the world, he's struggling. And we were brainstorming some ideas, and I said, why don't you reach out to some of your friends who are home inspectors, mortgage people, and why don't you guys start writing articles that people that buy homes that meet your demographic of middle class person living in Southern California who's been in their home for maybe 5+ years and is ready to move up. Why don't you write articles about how to sell your home and tips on how to make the room look nice, or get tips from a landscaper on simple techniques you can use to make your home more presentable. These kind of things, bringing all these people together that essentially would naturally not be competition. You can create kind of a movement and draw people to you and have a following, and that's kind of the model that I talk about in the book.
Sure. No, I used to be a landscaper, so I would totally participate in something like that if somebody presented the opportunity, because we're all looking to expand our reach, and
absolutely.
When you serve into the same local demographic, it's a great way to share resources. Back to the book, I'd like you to comment on the first chapter, because I thought this was really interesting as to what content is in there, why you're giving it away for free, and I think there's a core message here that goes beyond all of this that the audience could benefit from.
Well, in the book, I coined a phrase called the elevation principle. And basically what I explain in the book is, given the fact that people are tuning out, and given the fact that people don't trust your business, what you need to do as a small business is give people what they want. And at their core, they want access to great information, access to great people, and they want recognition. If you can figure out a way to provide that to them for free, you can quickly grow your business. And the ultimate way to scale this so that you can provide it to tens or thousands or hundreds of thousands of people is with content. So the elevation principle says basically focus on people instead of your needs of your business. And when you focus on the needs of people, they'll love you. They'll start sharing your content. And I've broken it down into a very simple formula, which is as follows. Great content plus other people minus marketing messages equal growth. And great content, you know what that is. It's like the how-to articles. It's the success stories. It's interviews with professionals. Stuff like we're doing right now. Other people is about bringing outside experts to your audience. So in the minds of people in your niche are a lot of really cool ideas. Find the people that have new books out. Find the people that are presenting at trade shows. Find the people that are writing great articles on their blogs. Figure out a way to bring some of that knowledge to your audience. Your audience will love it because it's a great form of content. Some of those people will percolate up and become potential strategic partners down the road. But if they don't, at the very least, you're providing great content to your audience. And then the last thing is minus marketing messages. And this is the thing that anybody who's ever been trained in marketing kind of, at first it doesn't settle well with them. I believe that if you think about your business like a rocket ship, and I don't know if you can see, there's a little space shuttle right here behind me. I'll show you my little visual aid.
Okay.
Content is what fuels your rocket. People are what people consume the content, moving your rocket ship forward quickly. Now, if you have too many marketing messages around your rocket ship, it's like friction for your rocket ship. It's like those flaps that go up when you're landing on an airplane. It slows down the forward momentum of your business. People will look to your content not as a gift, but instead as some sort of a lure designed to get them to do something like buy a product. So if you can pack away your marketing messages, if you can deliver something commercial free, people will receive it as what you hope they'll receive it as a gift. They'll share it, they'll want more, they'll want to sign up to get updates. So altogether, great content plus other people minus marketing messages is a novel idea, but it's proven and it's very, very fun. And you don't have to sell your soul in the process.
Right. Yeah, it takes a lot of the fear out of trying to get new business, because if you're just out there, and I love the word gift, and that's a great way to look at it. In fact, when I was reading that chapter, there was so much good content in there that I just couldn't believe it. And I'm like, now I want to read the rest of the book. And even if somebody just reads that first chapter, I mean, there's just so much there. I can't believe you wouldn't want to read further.
Well, I designed that first chapter of that book, and I made sure I got permission from Wiley, who's my publisher, to be able to give that thing away completely for free. I didn't require anyone register for it. I just wanted it to be immediately accessible. And I designed that chapter with so much meat in it that people would say, oh my gosh, wow, okay, even if I don't read any further, I've gotten something valuable out of this. I'd like to share this on Twitter or on LinkedIn or Facebook. And that's precisely what's happened with the book.
Oh, and where can we get that free chapter?
elevationprinciple.com. And there's a big link at the top that says free chapter. You click on it and the PDF file comes up immediately.
Okay. Excellent. One more question, I'll let you go. What's next? What's on the horizon? Maybe for Social Media Examiner, Mike Stelzner, social media in general? I mean, what do you see is coming that we should be aware of?
First of all, social media in general is obviously not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So my message to you, small business owner or fellow marketer, is that you really need to embrace it. The fact that I've heard statistics that there's upwards of 750 million people now on Facebook. The fact is that your customers are actually on Facebook. They're using Twitter. They're probably on LinkedIn. They might be watching videos on YouTube. So this really does allow you now to get rid of the middleman. You no longer need to be reliant on print publications, paying for expensive advertisements on websites, getting on the radio or television. All these things that were necessities in the past, even the yellow pages, are becoming completely obsolete. They're getting replaced by social media. So my message to you would be to study social media tactics. Start experimenting with it. It doesn't cost a dime other than your time. And I know your time is a valuable asset, but you need to think about putting investment into your marketing with time. So, the future of social media is going to be a lot more growth. I think you're going to see it embedded everywhere. Recently, Apple just announced that they're embedding Twitter into their iOS operating system, which means that everybody who has an iPad or an iPhone will have Twitter integrated into the core essence of the operating system. You're going to begin seeing this kind of stuff happening down the road. So it's time to get on board and figure out how to use this kind of stuff. What's coming next for me? Personally, I have no idea. My plan is just to keep working with Social Media Examiner. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know where the book is going to take me. I do know Social Media Examiner is on fire. We're, I think, at 86,000 subscribers, and we're only about 19 months old. So I'm just having a blast and loving it.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure to be associated with you guys. The quality of the content there is phenomenal, but consistently high-quality content. So you guys do a great job of editing and making sure that the topics are varied and so forth, and really staying on topic. So it's really been a pleasure for me to be associated with you, and to the extent that I can keep up with everything, I will plan to do so.
Awesome.
Any last words before we let you go?
Well, just thank you very much, Jeff, for having me today. And thank you for being a part of Social Media Examiner. And I think a take-home message to other people watching this is, Jeff doesn't get compensated for writing for Social Media Examiner. As a matter of fact, nobody does. So the reason he's part of it is because there's something in it for him. And I'm hoping for you it's exposure. I'm hoping for you it's possible prospects and opportunity. And one thing that I would tell you, small business owner and marketer, if you're watching this, try to figure out what's in it for the people that might want to contribute content to your site, and try to just reach out and ask people to partake. As long as there's something in it for everyone, you'd be surprised at the power of what I call co-opetition, bringing people that might be perceived to be competitors to the table. And trust me, lots of people that write for Social Media Examiner consider each other competition, but they do it because it provides great exposure for them. So my closing words would be, if you want to learn more about social media, our magazine is free. So check it out, socialmediaexaminer.com. And if you want a free chapter of the book, elevationprinciple.com. Thanks, Jeff, so much for having me.
You bet. Thanks for being here.
Okay.